They gave it the name Teramont. Just pronounce that word, and you will have an image in your mind of a land mammoth walking the earth. And in principle, I think they're giving it the right name, because its size is really impressive. There's no dissonance with the name. It's bigger than a Land Cruiser 300. And thanks to the platform and the bodywork, it's bigger on the inside. But as soon as we start speaking about it, there comes an understanding. It should be named in another way. Someone gets excited, someone gets butthurt. Dynamics! Come on! It's a challenge. I wish you could see my face right now. Teramont! And immediately everything is in its place. To quickly explain what kind of car it is. And there will be such questions, because it was transformed with the restyling. Their line packages appeared, and immediately everyone's thinking, who is this beauty? Because there's no longer even a hint of a puffy eyelid. It's just cool, especially in that color, which, by the way, has yet to be revealed. Well, I want to remind you, this is still the same Tiguan that had a big bang inside. The MQB platform and two engines to choose from. The top of the line from Tiguan, 2 liters, 220 horsepower, and the VR6, 3.6 classic of the genre, both with 8-speed automatic. The 220 horsepower we have tested before. And about VR6, you wrote to us quite diligently. Here it is. It's blazing hot and even roaring. But here's the question. Do you need it? Let's find out. Let's start with the simplest, acceleration. After all, a large volume and 249 horsepower is what you need for such a huge car, right? So, are you ready, children? Automatic, VR6, let's go! Soft, smooth start. Where is my... Dynamics? Come on! Show us everything you've got! I mean, you're a super sport. 958. I wish you could see my face right now. 958. What the heck? It's good, shift on the second. Such smooth traction in the whole range. But it is weak. 945 is the best score? Why is that? Why? Let's try manual mode. Let's do it. Will you switch by yourself? Yes, it switches by itself. Manual, not manual, doesn't matter. 904. 904. Best result in manual mode. Kind of like manual, kind of. You can switch yourself, but what for? Come on, give me the best you can do. Come on. 9.0. And that's the most I could accelerate it. But of course, in the eyes of the buyer, especially in conjunction with automatic, it looks much more advantageous than a 2-liter engine. But there's just one problem. In addition to the fact that it's weak in dynamics, it also consumes like mammoth. 16.5 all day today, 16.5 since the start. Over a long period, 13.8. Well, that looks better. But still, 14 freaking liters. Let's summarize. For VR6, you're overpaying $3,000 to make your car slower and consume more fuel. It is very interesting and worthy of the divine Toyota level. And of course, it is necessary to say and repeat as a mantra. But it is reliable. In general, it is up to you to decide. Now let's move into the interior. You're wondering what has changed. For example, are there any new awesome materials? Well, no, nothing showed up. Still, there's a stitch. What a stitch? What are you talking about? It's not stitching, it's an imitation. Yes, in this soft plastic. But it's an imitation. A high-quality stitching imitation. Because everything is very straight. Can you believe it? But this inlays are, of course, the main disappointment. And you can probably hear that they are even little bit too hard. Of course, it's all a slightly different design now. But in the Teramont, they look as ugly as possible. Probably the most tasteless thing here is just these inlays. Because there's nothing wrong with the finishing. It's okay. Of course, there's no finish on the inside of the pockets. They didn't even cover the bottoms of the door pockets with rubber. Otherwise, it is on the level of sort of Tiguan, even in spite of its cost. But certainly, there's a new steering wheel. Thank goodness without sensors. New multimedia. There's a great pocket on the front. Wireless charging. Everything's there. Large pockets, including here. Naturally, all are now Type-C connectors. So get your hands on adapters, as usual. For the rest, it's quite usual. Plenty of room. You get the idea. But that tells us not only a lot of space, in general, but also that it won't behave very well if you want to do something out of the box. It will squeak. Terribly bad road we will not find here, it seems. But something like a field road, wet, muddy, we certainly have. That's why, just in case, we choose the rock mode at once. Some off-road, some more off-road. Off-road mode, auto, adaptation. All-wheel drive, off-road, drive. All-wheel drive, off-road, drive. Off-road. Is there off-road steering? No, only sport. Climate control is regular. Too bad it's not off-road. Let's turn it off. A notification came in. Here we go. Good road. Fields and fields all around. Everything works so smoothly and well. I like it. It's predictable. The steering, man, is just the perfect steering wheel for a big car. Not just on the road, precise and sharp, but even here off-road, you feel what you have to do with the car. Well done! Everything is perfectly controlled with gas and steering wheel. Sonia must have been dosed. Let's hope not. After you have had a lot of fun getting to the country house, you will rejoice in the fact that we're talking about this a lot. You can get out of the car with clean pant legs after all. Yeah, it was really fun. And you also remember how the Teramont drove with a 220 horsepower engine when we drove it near Thule. Does anything change with atmospheric engine or not? Now for the more serious stuff. How do electronic simulations work? Are there delays and all that? We've got a little ditch, and as practice has shown, the only thing it clings to, even in our line, when there's such a big bend, is the mud guards. Sit further back, closer to the wheels. They are so stiff, they're essentially windshields. We go here. We change the location and create conditions to make it hard for it. That was the first gear. I let go again, and it rolls right back. And if you keep pushing, it will go forward quite smoothly. So, just a little scrapes on there, it works well. But hear the squeaks that start, including the rear curtain. Everything somewhere somehow begins to creak specifically. I don't like the squeakers. Crunches. Little more. Let's go all the way. Yes. Still, smoothly, like that. They put obstacles on my way, you know? I'm liking the suspension, and he's giving me a test. It's alright. I turned the S mode on. More so that I'm in one gear it is. Oh, I can even control it with the throttle. That wasn't bad. Yeah. I wish all cars had electronic adaptations working like that. And here, we've got everything naturally in a basic package. All the systems and the electronic differential lock, as it's called here. Here, though, we modded. And the lane assist isn't available right now. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we don't have lanes here. Okay, now the final obstacle that separates you from your home. Of course, it's a suspension, another one that only one tripped over, for example, who got stuck here for about half an hour. Even now, under these conditions, we do it pretty easily. And it's also heavier with this engine, which means its suspension has to work better. Because we didn't like it at the time when we drove on all sorts of bumps in the field. And it's strange for a big car. So we should definitely see how this version does. I think it's gonna start raining. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Pay attention, it's about to shake. And you're going to feel it all. Because the door pockets here are not rubberized. No felt, nothing. Everything is very stiff. We have a power bank here too. That's okay. Here we go. Let's start with the 40. I'm curious myself. In normal mode. No adaptations. No sport. 30 is fine, but the first one, there was like 47, 50, The front suspension starts shooting off, sometimes on the floor. Can you feel it? I mean, they didn't fix it. Big Tiguan, no way. There is nothing to be done about it. So, big waves, it bounces around a lot. 13, 14. In short, bang, that's it. We're in space. 15, 16, and we're just in space. It's comfortable, but the suspension shoots out very quickly. There's nothing you can do about it. This is something you won't like every time you pass a speed bump. If, for example, a layer of asphalt turns abruptly, it just shoots off. If you don't pass it gently, softly, and even if you go gently, carefully, you always drop the speed, you think okay, but it's not enough. That's the main disadvantage of the Teramont suspension. But you know what you're sure going to enjoy about the Teramont? The handling. Because it feels like a passenger car, compared to many large cars. We usually get to suffer a little, even not a little, in such huge vehicles. It is not the case here. It does not suit the role of Volkswagen Land Cruiser in this respect. Good noise isolation will also please you. You'll notice it again, even in much more expensive Land Cruiser, which we have in parallel in the test, and soon it will be a race. I thought that the Teramont, for example, can compete with it, due to the fact that it's not framed, it weighs less, the engine is a little bit weaker, but it will be comparable by dynamics. But no! That is the trick. You should wait. There will be an interesting video soon. So also in noise isolation, it wins such huge titans here, it is possible to tell. But in terms of volume, as I said in the beginning, it is a great car. You can absolutely travel in it with a large family. I mean, why else would you buy it? You put all the kids on 3 rows, stack up on Type-C adapters, and drive around the world, carefully selecting places where you can fill up your car. If you don't need the 3rd row here, then you get a kind of shed. I can't even say it any other way. With the shelves cut out. There's a lot of room. Okay, now we're on the 2nd row, and I'm sitting behind the driver's seat. Of course, the couch is adjustable. That was the furthest position. This is the closest position. I'm resting my knees on it. So you understand the adjustment range. That's just amazing. That's what I like about the Teramont. I like it a lot, because you know, it's just made for life. Now that I've found this, then it's time to strip this off. That's it. Someone gets excited, someone gets butthurt. Like, why are you touching the new car at all? Anyway, we take the seats out. It's cool, they retract, and we get a flat floor. And out of the flat floor, we get the seats out. How do I manage to do all that without getting up? Here we go. Don't get up. Almost didn't get up. So, that's the furthest back position. and I fit in here. I'm not even touching my knees. Now you understand the thing about Teramont. Yeah, sure, I can still get my head up here. A little bit. But my height is 6.13, according to the latest measurements. You know, anyway, there's plenty of room. That's awesome. The main feature: triple cup holder of some kind here. Triple cup holder also here. A bunch of compartments of all types. But only a 12-volt power socket. That's where the USBs would be nice too. Because that's where your kids will be sitting 100%. They'll have plenty of room until they grow up. And they will always sit here. I think they'd love it. But if the USB was added here, they'd sit there for sure. Oh, I can... No way! I can push it back just like that. Now that it's called Volkswagen. You cannot just only get out through this little, but you can get out through the big seat too. You can fold it down into a flat, straight floor. You can sleep here. You can do anything you want to do. Basically, that's cool. I also got myself thinking. Of course, that is basically pointless to tell you the price. First of all, video closers. Secondly, I'm telling you the price, and you watching this video 2 months later, and everything is changes in terms of prices. And if you watch this video in 6 months or a year, then you just remember even those prices, that like, at that time with the markups, seemed awful. And you think, I would have bought it back then, and everything would have been fine. So, it's useless to look at the prices of this car, because the RRP is like 4.3 to 0.45. Okay, with all the options, its price will get to 5 there. And there's basically it, yes? But the dealer won't sell it to you for less than 6. So what the hell difference does it make? Anyway, starting with the next video, we'll be comparing the price of cars to some kind of universal currency. So that at any point of your life, you can watch this video and figure out how much is actually worth. Because it's likely that they will all go up in price about the same, thanks to our superinflation. Let's call it like that. But generally speaking, if you get to some sort of bottom line and evaluate this car simply in terms of the qualities it gives you, it is almost the most unique offer in the market. Because it has reliability, it has volume, and it does not have some strange, incomprehensible design decisions. It is just like Volkswagen, and by the way, very attractive. Therefore, something prompts me that the sales of the Teramont should grow at last. If the dealers, of course, won't be too cheeky. Well, that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. The restyling of Land Cruiser from Volkswagen, in my opinion, was a success this time. See you all again.